Welcome for another session of Friends in Faith. And I am delighted to talk about one of my favorite authors, and that is Jacques Philippe. I've had the grace of meeting him and getting to know him. And his books are so simple and yet so profound. We're going to go over the concept of what is stealing my peace. When we lose our peace, it's that headwind that hits us, and all of a sudden things are 100 times harder. Or it's like all of a sudden we're climbing this huge mountain and we just want to give up, and we don't know why, and we feel weak and frustrated, and we get angry. And yet, peace is God's gift to us. So we have to really examine what is stealing my peace. And there's many things that steal our peace from the world of paying bills, trying to send kids to school, needing braces, looking for a comb that works. There's so many things that truly will steal our peace. Things that frighten us. Going to the doctor and say, ooh, your blood count isn't good. We need more tests. Oh, that anxiety that comes in. Today, we're living in a world of fear and anxiety. About 15 years ago, I was with a young man who was going through a really tough time. And he got in to drugs and alcohol. And he had a really good conscience. So he would come on a regular basis to confession. I'd hear his confession. And he had a blow up with his parents. And one summer he just went off to the beach to live by the beach. And finally he came back. And he said, Father, I have so much anxiety. I have so much fear. But I can't do this alone. I'm not good with God. So I said, okay. Went over, I heard his confession. And he was so happy. And that night he called about 10 of his friends and says, I'm good with God. I'm good with God. I feel a peace now. I am so good with God. That night, he had a heart problem and he died. And his mom came downstairs and all of a sudden she saw her son with this huge smile on his face on the chair. And he had died. But he was good with God. He was filled with peace. That is our journey. Some of us live 20 years or 40 years or 80 years. But we have to ask, am I at peace with myself? And what is taking my peace away? Because when we place everything in the perspective of God, the paradigm of number one, we are in a journey. And this journey is a valley of tears. This journey is difficult. This journey is not a vacation. And there are things that are going to go right, and there are going to be things that are going to go very, very, very wrong. And there's going to be things that we're fearful of, and there's going to be things that are very harmful to ourselves or to our kids. And we're going to want to control everything. And you know, that is the craziest idea of the world, as if we are in control. When I was 16 years old, one of my best friends, after football practice, was running off the field. A cloud came over, and he was hit by lightning. Teddy Wadno died. And it hit me. God can call us at any moment of any day. We think we're in control. We can do everything and anything, and it's not going to work because we're not in control. And it's never enough. And so we have these fears, and when we are in charge and we feel that we need to protect, we need to do this, that, or the other, we're going to be filled with fear because we're not enough. And when we're not enough, anxiety comes. We need then to say, we are called, number one, to bring all our fears into the light. Too many times we're not good at that. You feel anxiety, you feel a lack of peace. The first thing I do is, we have adoration every day here. Come to adoration, come before the Lord and to say, Lord, what am I fearful of? And bring a notebook. Open up and begin to write down your fears. And then, yes, we write down the list. You say, is there anything I can do? Okay, well, I can concretely be prudent here. And so I'm going to do something about one of these fears. Reduce it, and then give it to the Lord, and then move on. Because when we're stuck in fear, we're stuck in what might be. And it makes the anxiety worse because we're not handling what we need to handle. And we're not getting the satisfaction of doing what we need to do. So, the other thing we need to be very careful of is rumination. Rumination are these thoughts, usually controlled by my fears. And I allow them to go over and over and over again. Be aware of what I'm ruminating. When I allow rumination to happen, cortisol goes into my brain and just anxiety spikes. But again, write down these things, give them to the Lord, and begin to change the perspective of, say, Lord, I put you in charge of this and I put you in charge of that, and I choose to trust. I don't feel like I can trust, but I choose it because trust is a choice. I choose it and I celebrate that you are here for me. So we have to get rid of this rumination. And what we're really talking about is abandonment to the Lord. When I was in the seminary, I had all of this fear that I wasn't going to be enough. Wasn't smart enough, I wasn't prudent enough, I wasn't wise enough. And I remember getting down and I said to my spiritual director, I don't know if this is for me. And he said, you sound really focused on yourself. Whenever you're focused on, am I, you're going to be filled with anxiety. If you can change to, can God work through me? Everything will change. And your biggest obstacle to your peace is yourself. Putting yourself in the center. And that probably was the most important moment of my spiritual growth. And so I ask all of us, what is truly getting in the way of my peace? And am I willing to give it to the Lord and put my trust in Him? May God bless all of you.